What an amazing musician he was. The music lives on, of course. For this review, I've got two sets of speakers around £1,000, some KEF LSX and some Totem KIN Play. To people who aren't audiophiles, spending £1,000 on speakers is a lot. To audiophiles, perhaps not. But can we turn our noses up at speakers in this class just because of their price? That's what I'm going to be answering in this film. Plus, are these products of an audiophile nature to non-audiophiles? Remember that as you spend more and more, you get a law of diminishing returns. This is the appeal of this sort of hi-fi. KEF LSX speakers are a compact bookshelf speaker, and I have the newest iteration called Soundwave, which is a collaboration between Terence Conran and KEF themselves with a special type of fabric. Now, this model increases price to £1,150, is available in the UK and Europe, but it isn't in the US at the moment. Each speaker has its own amplifier, which is of a Class D type. If you click in the link in the description, I'll take you to a page on my website explaining what that is. Also, these speakers have a digital crossover. It's an active crossover, and because of that, they can use digital signal processing. Again, click on the link. Now, KEF have been using their UniQ drivers since the 1980s. There have been various iterations, new iterations of these drivers since then. They're forever trying to improve this technology. And basically what it is a tweeter within a mid-range bass driver, which is trying to achieve perfect alignment of bass and treble. That means KEF say better integration of the music and better timing. You've got a master speaker and a slave speaker. The master speaker takes the internet either over Wi-Fi or using a fixed Ethernet connection, and then it communicates with the slave speaker either via Wi-Fi, or you can tether an Ethernet connection, Ethernet cable between the two speakers. You can stream Tidal, Spotify Connect. It deals with UPnP streaming NAS drives or other drives on your network. You've got connectivity to Roon. You've got Bluetooth functionality, and you can AirPlay with Apple devices. And this is an AirPlay 2 speaker. The Totems differ from these KEF LSX speakers in that they don't have any streaming functionality built in, but they similarly use a amplifier within the speakers, but in this case only the master speaker, and then you use a speaker cable to connect the master to the slave. The master also has a phono stage built in, so you can use it with a turntable, or you can use those analog inputs with a little switch from another analog source, so be it a DAC or any other analog device. You're going to need a streamer onto it because it doesn't have that functionality inbuilt, obviously. And I think Totem's KIN Play speakers appeal more to someone who's already got an existing hi-fi. Maybe they've already got a DAC, CD players and other sources, and they want a pair of speakers to fit around that type of system. On the back panel of the master speaker, you've obviously got power connection and then an Ethernet socket for wired connection of internet. The USB socket is for charging only. It's not a USB 2 or any other input. Then there's an Ethernet to connect the slave, an optical digital input for, say, connecting up a TV or other digital source, a 3.5mm auxiliary analog input. The 3.5mm connection means you could use, say, a 2 RCA to 3.5mm cable. I use an AudioQuest Evergreen. The RCA socket on the side is obviously for a subwoofer as a sub out if you want to bolster the power of these speakers, maybe in a home cinema system or just using it with your TV. I didn't actually have to use the Bluetooth pairing or master slave pairing buttons. There hasn't really been any need yet, despite using Bluetooth connectivity and pairing the speakers successfully. You've got a reset button as well to take the network connections out of the speaker if you're repairing it to the network or to a different network. So I've got the slave speaker here, and as you can see on the back, you've simply got a power socket, IEC type. You've got the Ethernet link to the other speaker if you're tethering the two speakers together. And then you've got this master slave pairing button. And that's it. Obviously you don't have the connections that you do because it's not the main connecting master speaker. Interesting point is that at the top, you can see these little grills. Obviously there's a lot in this little case and it needs to be vented properly. You can change inputs either in the KEF Control app or you can use the supplied remote control. There is a coloured light on the master speaker that shows the input. So it stays white for streaming and network connection, blue for Bluetooth, and then yellow for using the RCA connections, and a purple colour for the digital input. What really hits you when you listen to these speakers is even tonality and very good dispersion for their size. Also decent dynamics and detail considering you're only spending £1,000 here. You're not going to get anything anywhere near like you would do of spending a lot more in these areas, and this tends to be where you can suss out this type of price of hi-fi. But it's decent and it's good, so there's no grumbles. In the settings you can toggle a switch to set between either the wired connection or Wi-Fi between the two in the two speakers communicating with one another. This is actually quite a decent thing to do because you can immediately hear opening up of soundstage and slightly more detail coming through with the wired connection. So if you can, I recommend using wired connection and maybe space these speakers in such a way where you can do that, because there are subtle but decent sound quality gains to be achieved. I did find the Totems aren't anywhere near as balanced as these KEFs. They offer slightly more forward presentation, more treble there, and I found too that you needed to pair them with a much better DAC. I used the RME ADI2 DAC FS I have, in order to get more dynamics out of these Totems to a level where they're matching the KEFs. That said, I do think the Totems offer a different route if you want to fit them into an existing system, to go through an upgrade route, because obviously the KEFs are a one box solution and you can't upgrade them in any way. Both of these products have stellar sound quality. I mean, really good for the money. They're the type of products that you just think, why pay more when it's this good? And as such, it means incredibly good value for money. The thing with the KEF, which is the only disadvantage, is that it has issues with its app reconnecting if you turn your router off. I have a router right next to a bed which has a massive blue light on it, and you can't not turn it off at night, otherwise you'd just be kept up. So that's the issue, and I found that it's not so much with the connection of the speakers themselves, because connectivity is still there. The white light comes on to signify there's a connection, but it's in the app, and I found I had to jog the app by switching on Bluetooth in order for it to then find the speakers. You get a little red dot where you click the down arrow to select the speakers in the app that says can't connect. So using that means of selecting Bluetooth seemed to trick it, and I also found that selecting Rune seemed to jog it too. Obviously, I don't think this is going to be an issue if you keep your Wi-Fi on all the time. You know, it's a small thing against the sound quality of the product, and I do think that once you get it working reliably, it does work pretty reliably. So I am picking a small thing there. So far as the totems not being the last word in neutrality, that's also a strength, because some people like a slightly more forward sound. Also bear in mind, it's all about system matching, isn't it? So if you're using smoother DACs and smoother sources, to have a slightly more forward speaker is a good idea. Obviously, also remember that they offer a better upgrade route. Both of these products are recommended, and on the original question, yes, it's affirmative. They offer incredibly good value for money. They're incredibly good products, and I can recommend both of them, particularly the KEFs, because they're a one-box shop stop. Is that the right way of saying it? To everything you need. They just win out because of the fact that they're more neutral. Very good tip for you. Place these long way in the room. I've tried them width ways and long ways, and they sound so much better if you put them long ways in the room. That's unsurprising because most speakers do, and they just tend to work better in the room because of the room acoustics. Every review I do, I take something out of it personally. And my main take out of doing this review is just how much you get for your cash. So don't go out and spend £1,000 on a TV to watch some trash like Celebrity Love Island or other rubbish you find on the TV. Get yourself a pair of these speakers, spend £200 or £300 on the TV, and listen to some Mozart, a life-affirming experience. That's what people should be out there buying with this type of hi-fi. This is what this type of hi-fi is about. Okay, it might be a lot of money to some, but it is worth it. It's just worth it. So there you go. That's my impassioned case for getting people to become audiophiles. Don't know whether it worked, but I've done my thing, haven't I? Please ask any questions. I answer them all. And if you've got any products you want me to review, let me know, because if I get a lot of people asking me the same thing, I can go to a manufacturer and I can say, here's all these people that want me to review this, supports a request. I'm here for you, and I'm here to get you decent products that perform well, and I can confidently and honestly say that these products will get you what you want. Hi-fi reviewing is consumer steered as well. I'm not just doing this to promote products. I'm doing it because I want you to get the best of what I'm looking at as well. So please support this channel, please subscribe, and once again, thank you very much for watching.